Hi, everybody. It's Matt Hawes of Comics Unlimited in Evansville, Indiana, located inside the Big E Superstore at 1540 Vann Avenue. And the reason why I'm making this video is I wanted to go through this folder here that I had 30 years, and I opened in 1996 my comic shop of Comics Unlimited, the brick and mortar version. And that was when I first, it wasn't when I first started selling comics, but it's when I first opened the shop. I started selling a few years earlier at conventions and at flea market, like Diamond Flea Market back in the early 90s. And I returned to Diamond after I closed the shop in 2014. But in 1996, I did not have a computer yet. And I also didn't have, well, it would have been costly to do color Xeroxes. So what this is, to explain to you what you're looking at here and why it's in black and white, is that's Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay, and if you might notice up here, there's like a price sticker because this was actually a scan of one that was in the bag, or a photocopy rather, because it wasn't done on a scanner, but a photocopier from a library, I think. No, it's been a while, so I actually bought my own photocopier. So this is for my home photocopier, because before had a computer and a scanner, I actually had a home portable photocopier. So it took me a minute to remember, but that's come from my own photocopier. I don't know if I would have wanted to take all these books that you're going to see here to a library just to do that on a photocopier there. But yeah, back in the 1990s, during this period at least, I didn't have a computer yet. So if I wanted to show off some of the books, but I didn't want to actually have them all out on display at the shop, this is what I chose to do, so people would be aware I had these books, because frankly there's some bigger priced books that I didn't want to put them all on the wall or in display, or be risking theft or anything like that. So this is but what's funny is this was, you'll get to see the prices. Like $150 is what I wanted for Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now it is a lower grade still. You can see, and the one thing about black and white is you can sometimes see some of the creases and defects a little better, really. And so of course it was, like I said, lower grade. But nowadays, this book, I think, I haven't looked it up, it'd probably like over $1,000 even in this grade. So we're talking a pretty big increase, and maybe even more than that. Like I said, I have not looked up what even low grade Spider-Man 2s go for a while, because I don't typically look up all that information unless I got the book. And I haven't had Amazing Spider-Man 2 for a few years. I've had, I don't know, maybe a couple or so after this one. This isn't the last time I had one, but in fact, this was probably the first time I had one, honestly, because like I said, I had what you're seeing here is stuff I had right before I opened the shop and right after I opened the shop. This is my idea, like I said, to just make photocopies of this and these books and bring it into the flea market to show people. And then if they wanted it, if they were serious about it, I'd pull out the book and show them. So there's Amazing Spider-Man #5 with Doctor Doom, an early Doctor Doom appearance. In fact, I think it's his first crossover. I'm pretty darn sure it's his first crossover outside Fantastic Four, and a pretty darn early appearance in general. And then the first appearance of Scorpion. Oh, and I'll tell you the prices just because might be interested. 130 on that one, and again, it's not high grade. You can see like there was a crease there and other stuff. But yet again, we're talking a book now that'd be like 10 times or more that price in this day and age. What did I have on that one? $80. And that one actually wasn't too bad looking of a copy. That the first appearance of Scorpion, that'd be worth quite a bit more than $80 nowadays. $50 for a classic issue of Amazing Spider-Man where he gets unmasked by the Green Goblin, and we learn that Green Goblin is Norman Osborn, if I recall correctly, in that issue. Or is it this issue? These are the two-parters, so this is the other part, and I had 80 on that. Oh my God, how cheap they were back then. And then what we got for $100 at that time is Amazing Spider-Man 50, which is the first appearance of Kingpin and also a very classic cover and story. There's Avengers There's Avengers issue 2 and the second issue, and I had 150 on that one. And a lot of these, like I said, they might be, not all of them aren't always the highest grade, but they aren't. A lot of them really weren't bad for lower grade copies. And I should explain too, this little line here, this ain't this is not damage, or was not damage on that book. That, if you look closely, is actually the reflection of the bag. I did not take them out of the bags. That's why there's the price stickers. Now, the price sticker actually is in a different color here, and the reason why it's in color is there was a price sticker on the bag when I photocopied these, but I still put a new price sticker atop on that. And that could be, I can't remember the exact reason for that. Maybe I don't think the price showed up all the time, because if I used a red sticker and it got photocopied, it came out looking different. So I think that's why I did that. Either that, or I could have honestly changed the price, for one reason or another at the time. So anyway, but that's why the stickers, it may be hard to tell in the video, but it's actually kind of purplish, where the rest, of course, is black and white. But yeah, so there's Avengers number 2. And these were all books some of the big books I had when I first opened the shop. Avengers, or I keep wanting to say annual. Avengers issue number 3. I had 140 on that one. That is one where Hulk and Submariner team up. And next issue would be the one that has Captain America, but at that time I didn't have that one. Trying to think if I had one in my personal collection before that. I've got one afterwards. Yeah, I did. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, I did have Avengers 4 before that, when I was still a collector. It was a pretty low grade copy, but I had one. Avengers 16, $50 on that. And that's another one. Now, one thing, I was saying how, black and white photocopies sometimes can bring out like some defects like that. But what it can also do, because I remember this book, it can also do the opposite. Like obviously it's on color, so you don't see how vibrant and really cool the colors were. Like this one actually looked sharp. It looked sharper because of the nice colors on the cover that popped. So this one, even though it does have like some dings on the spine, wasn't really a bad looking book at all. Definitely would be worth more than the $50. All these will be worth a lot more, of course. Avengers Annual 10. Now, you may have noticed something. I've got these in alphabetical order, and I had plenty of big comic books, when I collected. In fact, as I was collecting, I was mostly a Marvel guy, but I like DC and Marvel, still do to this day. And I liked other companies as well. But I was predominantly Marvel, and I was big on the team books. I had every issue as a collector before I opened the shop. Every issue of Fantastic Four, but about 14 issues. The number 3 was my earliest one I had as a collector. Now, as the shop, I got number 2. Believe it or not, all these years, that's number 1 is Fantastic Four is one of the only big Marvel comic books I've never actually had from the Marvel Age of comics, not counting the Golden Age stuff. There's quite a bit there I haven't had, but as far as Silver Age on up, that's Fantastic Four 1 is one of the only ones that I've never actually had, even as a collector or as a reseller, vendor, retailer, whatever phase I was in. Captain America 100. Last time I had a copy of this, now this was a copy I had in 1996, but the last copy I had, which was not this copy, was because I sold this one before that period, was after September 11th. I just haven't picked up a copy since 2001, and the reason I know that, for a fact what time frame, is because I actually auctioned off for charity for the September 11th attacks, my copy of Captain America 100 that I had in the year 2001, and I know I haven't had another one since, so I haven't been able to pick one up since through my shop or business. Anyways, I had $100 on that copy there. $100 for 100, no, 200 rather. I'm sorry, 200. I was gonna say $100 for number 100, but actually it's 200. And that one is another one that actually was pretty nice condition. And then with Jim Steranko, a classic cover. Excuse the shadow on here. I also put it on top of a sheet on my couch here, so that's the background you're seeing. I have 50 on that one. There's a Fantastic Four 3. Now that was my actual copy for my collection that I end up selling, around this time, because whenever I open the shop, people ask me, even to this day, what books I still have for my collection back in the day. And I did stop collecting comics once I opened the shop, because they have a phrase: you can't be a dealer and do your own drug, because you'll get high on your supply, so to speak. And not that I'm into drugs or advocate that, but I've never been into it, but I'm just saying the saying it basically is still a principle I use with the comics, because basically I don't want to hold on to any books I want to sell, because I'm in the process, or that's my living. I mean, that's my livelihood. So if I had done that where I kept a collection, I probably would never let go of any of these kind of books. Like this book, I probably would never got rid of, for instance. And you just, when you're trying to run a business, unless you're independently wealthy, you can't be doing that. Anyway, this copy I had $400 on at the time, and as you're going to hear me say, as I already have before, a lot of these books would be a lot more in the same book, in the same condition, would be worth a lot more than these days. And it is nearly 30 years ago at the time of this video. But I was going to mention there's a little bit of tape damage, though. That's what that little discoloration is. And so it wasn't, again, a flawless copy, but it actually was pretty structurally nice copy and everything. There's Fantastic Four number 6 that I had 150 on at the time. The first Puppet Master here, which I had 120 on. I'm telling you the prices because I thought you might be fascinated with that. There was 150 for Fantastic Four 10, and I should bring up again, this is the wrinkles, or did I say that exact? I mean, I know I was mentioning that on the previous copy, but comic. But these some of these lines on some of these covers is actually from the plastic bag, from the reflection whenever it got scanned or whatever by the printer. So that actually is not wear from the book. That was for just a reflection of the bag. And again, I don't know why I didn't just go ahead and take them out of the bag and put them on the plate as is, but I think I just didn't want to, take the risk of getting tape snag or anything like that. $75 on this one. That's issue 14 of Fantastic Four. First appearance of the Mad Thinker, I had 70 on that one. $85 on the first appearance of the Molecule Man. I wish to see the Mole Man is the one I don't have. That's Fantastic Four number 1. There's Fantastic Four 48 now and 49. And I'm wondering, did I scan these before the shop? I had $200 on that one. I have $50 on that one. And the reason I'm saying that, let me see if number 50 is here. No, look, there's there's Fantastic Four, and this time it is annual. Fantastic Four Annual number 2, which was the origin of Doctor Doom, and when we first found out he's a Rollo Latveria. I'll get back to Sergeant Fury and all that, but I just want to mention, I think these were ones I got after, because I sold Fantastic Four 48, 49, and 50, what they call the Galactus trilogy, at a convention right before I opened the shop. And it's one of the things that made me decide, okay, I can't be a collector because, well, let me explain, because I had my goal of wanting to have a shop, but I still have my feet in both waters, as so to speak, as far as being a collector and a dealer when I was just doing the conventions, because I was raising money for the potential of getting a shop, but at the same time, I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to commit to it at that point. If it wasn't going to look like it was going to come, pay off. Obviously, I didn't want to get rid of certain books if I didn't have to. But I ended up selling Fantastic Four 48, 49, 50 to one person, and that's when I thought, okay, these are hard books to get. They were hard books to get back then, and they're even much more harder now. And I thought, okay, if I'm going to sell this to this guy, I better be serious about this from here on. If I'm going to be a dealer and stop being a collector, this is where it happens, because these would be a huge thing for me to try and get back. And like I said, unfortunately, never been independently wealthy. So, and especially at that time, I thought, okay, I better go ahead and be serious about this. So I'm just mentioning that was the turning point where I was once I sold those three issues. But I think, like number 50 is not in here, and I did sell all three of those together. So these must be copies I got after I sold the first three. Now, remember I said it wouldn't be easy to get, but I still had these, apparently. Regardless, that was what made me decide, okay, I'm going to go forward with, being a reseller. Anyway, here's Sergeant Fury's appearance with Captain America. And this is that one, even though it has the creases up there and such, it was actually looked pretty sharp overall. Silver Surfer number 1, $60 on that copy. $90 on Tales of Suspense number 59, which is where Captain America gets his own starring feature again in a book for the first time since the Atomic Age, I guess, of comics, because his Golden Age series really ended in the 50s, technically a little bit past the Golden Age, but still before Silver Age. Tales to Astonish 59, this is where Hulk fights Giant Man, and then number 60, where he becomes the second feature in the book. I have 60 on the one, 50 on the other. And then, X-Men number 2, I had $400 on that copy there. X-Men number 7, I had $80 on that copy. X-Men 11, that first Stranger, there's $90. The first appearance of the Juggernaut, $75. Again, these are books. All these books, the ones that are under, not in this folder, I think I can safely tell you that any book that's under $100 at that point in time would be worth hundreds now. And there's, like I said, some that are worth thousand or more. It's just crazy to see all these and see these old prices, because there's not a single one I don't think I've shown you that even in these conditions would be under $100 to this day. $75 on X-Men number 26. X-Men number 39 at $50. X-Men 94, $150. And I can tell you, this one is a pretty nice copy. There is like a spine tick and all that, but that was a really nice copy. And this one is definitely worth over $1,000 in the condition this book was in this day and age now. Okay, and so if you're wondering where's all the DC and other stuff, I think we'll see here that I haven't separated by I guess the company title rather than just the title itself. Usually, like at my shop and at the flea markets and stuff, I've alphabetized things by title regardless of company. But in this folder, I apparently didn't do that. Here's Daredevil number 4. I had a good number of Golden Age books at the time, but this 1941, I had 130 on that. And that was a cool book. Actually, until I saw this, I forgot I had this book, honestly. It's funny when you deal with comics, and especially after having a shop and everything else over the years, I forget how many cool books I had. There's Batman number 40, and I had 180 on that one. I always thought it was funny. It was date stamped twice. And I always wondered, why was it date stamped twice? 1947, 1950. I'm thinking, was the grocery store or wherever this thing was sold? There wasn't comic shops back in those days. But when they used to do those date stamps, was it put in the back room or something and they put back out again? But then what would be the reason of date stamping it? Because the whole reason they date stamped it is to know when to take it off the shelves to return to the distributor. Because newsstand distribution that they had for shops like that, they were returnable if they didn't sell, which is distinct from direct comic shop distribution, which this ain't the time where I'm going to go into a discussion of all that, but for people who know, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, you could return stuff that was unsold. Anyway, the reason I'm saying that is I wonder why, if that was just an accident, he just had the wrong setting, or if they put it back on the shelf a few years later and date stamped it for whatever reason again. Batman number 109, $50 copy. Not necessarily a key issue, but a cool old one. Detective Comics from 1949. That's number 150. I had 65 on that copy. These are Golden Age books from the 40s. A lot of these that you're seeing here. So it's just funny. 40s and 50s, like this one from 1951. And, again, $65 for that. Even if it's low grade, it does have some shipping there and all that, but it was complete. All these books were complete. Detective Comics number 247 from 1957. Had 60 on that one. $35 on number 277 from 1960. Let's see. Justice League of America, number 7. I had $100 on that one. And if I remember correctly, these were nice copies too. Again, not near mint, but heck, maybe even very fine on some of them. Definitely a fine or, fine plus. $75 on Justice League of America, number 8. Number 15, I had 70 on. Number 40, or no, rather, number 16, I had $40 on. Number 17 was $60. $6 for number 18. Then number 19 for $60. This is The Adventures of the Fly, number 1. I had $120 on. And again, it was a pretty nice copy. It's a VG, I think. I mean, there is the wear and all. I say I think because it's been so long, but I think that's how much. $90 for 4-color 1139, number 139. That was a adaptation of Spartacus, and I have a beautiful copy of that one. This is another one I wish I had a color scan of it or whatever to show you, because it really looks sharp. And again, not totally near mint. There is some light wear and stuff, but beautiful. I would say definitely a very fine copy, though. James Garner's Maverick, number 1, $75. And I think that's all I got in this folder, but these are a lot of the higher dollar stuff that I had at the time. And anyway, I just thought you guys would like that. I've kept this all these years, and this is this folder it's been in all these years, and I just thought it was kind of neat, and it'd be something interesting to share a little bit of the history of Comics Unlimited from Evansville. Anyway, I hope you'll check me out at the Big E Flea Market at 1540 Vann Avenue, Evansville, Indiana. Open the first and third weekends of every month. And also check me out on eBay and on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/Comics Unlimited Evansville. And also check me out here on YouTube and on Matt Hall's channel and The Happy Show, or A Happy Show channel. Anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and end my video. Yay!